Hello everyone, welcome to TrustHub. Today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of our Privacy Lens software. Privacy Lens, put simply, is a powerful tool that helps organizations understand their usage of personal data. It features highly interactive, dynamic graphical presentations that makes analysis easier and faster. It runs in the browser, so there's no software for you to install and maintain. Using Privacy Lens, it's possible to model personal data based around what we term as the 4 Ps. These are business processes, which relates to the uses that an organization makes of personal data. The platforms where that data is stored. This can be both physically in terms of data servers, laptops, other computer equipment, as well as physical storage such as filing cabinets for paper-based records, as well as logical platforms, logical resources, in other words, that could be software-based products like databases, as well as cloud-based solutions. The third P is people. The organizations, the teams, the roles, and the individuals who have access to the personal data or who are in some way responsible for it. And the final P is places, which relates to all of the places where all of the above is done and the places where the individuals whose personal data is being stored might reside. Privacy Lens itself has 3 main layers. There's a dashboard layer that gives oversight and summary views so that the user can get an overview of their model. There's a visualization layer, which is where the user can explore their model in detail and make analysis and other assessments. And then there's the reporting layer, which is where the user can get a detailed view of a particular aspect of the model in order to understand it in much greater detail, or to generate a report that can then be passed to others in the organization to drive change. Let's step across into the browser and I can give a quick demonstration. So going to leap straight into the visualization layer, and I've got a simple model here that is showing a set of personal data stores as well as a few business processes. I can see down here that there's a monthly payroll business process which has access to both salary records as well as company personnel records. I can go in and I can explore these in more detail, look at the company personnel records, for example, to be able to see in more detail as to the types of information being stored there. So I can see things like appraisals, dates of birth, employee ID, names, copies of CV, all the kind of usual stuff that we would see there. This is a dynamic view, by the way. I can move any of these things around as I so wish. I can interrogate the system so that I can see in more detail as to what is being used, and I've got the opportunity to explore my model in some detail. I can, at the moment, I'm just showing business processes and personal data, but if I so wish, as I probably do, I can bring into the picture the set of logical and physical resources that are being used to store the data. So the picture is getting a little larger now. So what I can do is I can select the particular part of the model that I'm interested in and zoom in on it so that now I can see the HR databases that are being used to store the majority of the company personnel records, as well as the actual servers that the databases are running on. And I can see that this company uses a good old filing cabinet for storing at least some of the annual salary records. So that's all very helpful to me. I can bring back the other view if I so wish in order to look at other parts of the model. I might wish to bring in other things like individuals and teams and roles, so I can see who is responsible for aspects of looking after the personal data. Things looking a bit more crowded here, but once again, Privacy Lens can help me cut through the clutter. I might be interested in this individual, John Smith, so I can filter things down and I can see just the things that John is responsible for. So I can see the roles that he's fulfilling as well as the team that he's part of. Now I can use the analysis engine that's built into Privacy Lens to give me an idea as to the state of my network and the state that things are running in. If I just bring everything in for a second, what I can do is I can look to see, for example, where I've got missing justification for the usage of my data. So by clicking on the analysis to do with personal data justification, I can see I've got a problem over here with my marketing model, my marketing business process. So if I zoom in on there, I can see that there's a problem there. I have incomplete justification for all of the personal data that is using. That's not very good. I can use the detailed report in order to look at that in more detail. So I can click on the justification report and see that it's telling me that some of the marketing campaign information has no consent attached to it. So I can generate a quick report to capture this. So that's now generated. I can download that report and that will show me all of the consent items, all the aspects of the business process that have not been captured properly. And I can open that up in a spreadsheet, perform further analysis of it, and drive further change to get that resolved very quickly, send this on to other parts of the organization to get things sorted. But back to the visualization, other things I can do using the model. I turn off the criteria for a second. What I can do is I can visualize my whole model, but I can do it both in this kind of logical view, but I can also do it as a map-based view. So in this case, I'm now viewing where all of the entities, where all of the data and the other resources are being stored. So I can see that the majority of entities that I'm modeling are stored in the United Kingdom, but I have a couple of things. I have a Salesforce.com instance that's clearly being run out of France. And if I look down here, I can see that there's something happening in Equatorial Guinea, which is in fact where the ABC marketing company is located. So might have concerns there about whether Equatorial Guinea has appropriate data protection regulations in place in order to have some of the information, personal data, being stored there. So that's something that I might wish to look at. Other level of the tool to look at is the dashboard. It's very much there for overview and analysis. Here I can configure my view to show all of the things I'm interested in most. At the moment, I've got it set up as I might do for a data protection officer. I can see the set of open issues inside the tool, as well as the overall completeness of my model. And here I've got the jurisdictions that both my organization is operating in, as well as where the jurisdictions of the data subjects that I'm modeling. Anyway, that's a very quick tour of Privacy Lens. We really feel that using Privacy Lens and building a model like this can assist in the GDPR journey. Modeling really is just the start of it, and it can assist the GDPR journey in a number of ways. The first way is in setting strategy, because by capturing the current state of an organization, it's then possible to plan and visualize the desired GDPR future for an organization. Second way that Privacy Lens can help is by looking at security. With Privacy Lens, it's possible to look at the location where data is being stored, the safeguards that are protecting it, and who has access, and be able to assess whether any of those aspects of the security might have weaknesses associated with it. And then finally, there's the issue of governance. So using Privacy Lens, it's possible to use the dashboard and the key visuals to generate reports for stakeholders and other key parties, including the obvious candidates being regulators. Anyway, that's a quick tour through Privacy Lens. There's a lot more we could show you, so if you're interested in learning more, please don't hesitate to drop an email to the address you see on the screen. Thank you very much for your time.